Can you still make money in Dubai's property off-plan market in 2024? It's a question many people ask me. A lot of people say, Joe, have I missed the boat? Am I too late? In this video, I'm going to uncover it all so that you have a very clear answer and you can define whether off-plan is still for you by the end of the video. So don't go anywhere. What's going on, guys? My name is Joe Butler. As always, I'm bringing you the most informative real estate content in all of Dubai. I aim to give a no bullshit approach. I want to give you everything as clear as possible. I don't like to sugarcoat anything, as I make it very clear in my videos. We're here to help investors and serve them from A to Z. Everything they need. And if you want to get in touch with me, all what you need to do is follow the links below and see how we can help out. So let's start with a fact. In 2024, Dubai's seen 180 billion dirhams worth of sales in the off-plan market. And the transactional volume difference between last year and this year is 42%. So what does this say? It says that obviously there is still a huge demand for off-plan. But what it also says is that developers know this. And what this means is that there is a lot of supply coming to the market. And in this video, I want to unpick what makes a good investment in 2024 and also how, your expectations can really be met. Because I see it time and time again, a lot of people come to me and they have these crazy expectations basing it off, buying a property like some people did in 2021, 2022, or even when people bought the Atlantis off plan and resold it in the hottest market we've seen in Dubai ever. And then people expect to make them same returns. Unfortunately, I'll be very honest and straightforward. I do think that those insane returns are gone, okay? But that's not to say that you won't make money. And I still think it's very valuable to hold an asset in a city like Dubai. But this also means that I don't believe that good opportunities are gone. With the new infrastructure and development of Dubai's landscape, the new architecture that we're seeing throughout the buildings, the engineering that's going into these places, it's insane. And I still believe that, there are still some massively upcoming areas that are still undervalued. So although I say these insane returns can't be met as frequently, I still do believe there is a lot of room for growth, for sure. But, there was a time in Dubai where you could almost buy anything and make money. Now that's not so much the case. So let's first of all talk about setting realistic expectations. Naturally, through my YouTube channel and many other platforms, I get a lot of clients come to me with budgets around 1 million, 2 million dirhams. Now, in this price range, you can still get a fantastic product. But if we start to look at more at the 1 million dirham product, this is where people are buying products for cash flow in areas which are known for, high rental returns, such as JVC, Arjan, Al Farjan, Motor City, Sport City. And I still think these are great areas if you want a cash flow asset. But if you're coming to me with 1 million or 1.2 million and you're saying, Joe, I want to flip it, I want to flip it before handover. If someone tells you can flip it before handover or like 6 months after you buy it, then run. Of course, you can flip it when it's ready because it's a prime time to sell your property when it is completed. But around that 1 million to 1.2 million, even 1.3, 1.4 mark, the products that you're getting are going to be prime for cash flow, but it's not going to be a branded residence. It's not going to be in a super prime location. It's not necessarily going to be near the waterfront. Maybe it's going to have great connectivity around it, which is great, but again, just for cash flow. When we start looking at 2 million and above, that's when we can start to see products that get a bit more interesting and buying into communities where master developers such as Emar, Shoba, and so forth, are actually developing properties at this price point. But again, this is still the entry level. All right, so remember your expectations. If you've even got 2 million, if you want to flip it upon handover, don't be expecting like double your money. All right, I'm not saying it's not possible and we don't know where the market is going to go, but based on what I see today with the price per square foot that what developers are charging, of course it's gone up and there is a lot of demand in the market. But around this price point, just think in your mind that this is a prime asset to hold for cash flow with the chance of appreciation, and that might be 5-7% per year. It could be, if you've been waiting 3 years, it could even be 20, 25%, or even 30%. Who knows? But as long as you're buying from a good developer in a good location with, a good future infrastructure, then you'll be all right. So you ask me well, what are the most in-demand properties then you can be buying in today's market? Now, it's quite obvious, villas, townhouses, waterfront properties, and some branded residences are taking the market by a storm, and I'm going to break it down so you understand why. Well, first of all, I've been living in Dubai now for a number of years, and I've started to see a very big trend of, families relocating their assets entirely from places like UK, Europe, parts of America, all over the world, basically. And they're not just coming to invest anymore. The type of people now that we're seeing move to Dubai, young entrepreneurs, young couples, and then even people who are retiring, okay? These are all coming to the city, and one thing that they all have in common is that they're craving community, all right? Now, for the people that want to live in communities, you go and buy a villa or a townhouse, and you get the greenery, you get the parks, you get the lakes, and people crave that, people miss it. And even for myself, that's something that I even miss, all right? So that's why I place myself in a community, so I got that feeling. And of course, there are still apartments that are offered in these communities. You know, we've even seen them, you know, in the new launches, you've got Gaff Woods, you've got Verdes by Eldar, and many more, you know, come into the market. And the reason is people want that lifestyle. And then if we look at waterfront properties, I mean, that's a pretty obvious explanation in itself, right? We're living in a desert, so any waterfront property right now is going to attract people, because generally people want to live near the water when we're in a desert. And anywhere in the world, waterfront properties are always golden assets. And then the third one, which I said, branded residences. I like this one because I do believe there is a lack of really high-end luxury in buildings in Dubai. Of course, there are some, but there's still a big gap in the market. I'm not saying every branded residence is going to be a killer, but of course, there are some which are offering something unique. And again, this brings me into my next couple of points, which I want to touch on now. The three most important things when you are buying a property, when you need to think about it as a golden asset, is what is its unique selling point, okay? What is this project or development offering that doesn't exist on the market today? Or if it does, what's unique about it in a sense? Is the price good for the product? All right, which brings me into my second one. Does the price justify the product? You know, sometimes we've seen prices really high starting out for a project. We've seen them on Marjan Island, for example, in Ras Al Khaimah. I think it's going to be a fantastic place. But when we see price per square foot, you know, 3,000, 3,500, 4,000 dirhams per square foot in that location, for me, sometimes I'm like, I do question it a little bit. It's like, we haven't seen this area really flourish yet. So, you know, it's questionable. But again, you need to think about this. You might be buying into like an address by Imar. Okay, then it's justifiable because it's a good product. But you know, we've got some of these new developers offering like the same price point, but they haven't necessarily got the reputation in the market. So for me, that doesn't justify the product for the price you're paying, you know? And also, what does the future look like? You know, I just mentioned Ras Al Khaimah, right? Al Marjan Island, future casino, you know, this whole infrastructure change in the location, you know, of that emirate is going to be huge. And then of course, you've got places which I still think are heavily undervalued in Dubai, such as the Dubai Islands. You know, this is a place I'm really bullish about because we've got this huge island owned by Nikhil. It's going to have 2 golf courses. It's going to have world-class golf courses, actually. Over 80 resorts, 21 kilometers of beach access. And also the infrastructure is changing like dramatically with the road system, which is going to connect the Sheikh Zayed Road directly into the Dubai Islands, but also in the maritime city and the Mina Rashid district. You see, this whole part of Dubai, which has been classed as the older Dubai, the future of this place is insane. You know, of course, like they're really emphasizing on the road systems in these locations because they want to build this part of Dubai. You know, and then we've got the other side where you've got Palm Jebel Ali, you've got Dubai South. Now, this is a much longer investment term, so don't come into the market thinking buying Dubai South, now I'm going to flip in 3 years and make a huge profit. And the same with the Jebel Ali Palm. I think it's a fantastic asset to hold, but just be patient with that. I think it's more of like a 7 to 10 year project, especially if you look at how big the Palm Jebel Ali is compared to the Palm Jumeirah. You know, and they've not even stopped or finished building on the Palm Jumeirah yet. There's still a lot of building and construction going on. So imagine they've only launched the villas and plots on the Palm Jebel Ali, so they've still got all the rest of it to launch and then build, right? And hotels like Atlantis and the scale of those places, they don't get built overnight. And what I said about branded residences, we've seen these amazing brands come to the market, but you just need to be careful again. Are you paying the right price? You know, I can't justify some of the prices that I see, 5-6 million dirhams for a 1-bed in downtown by some of these big developers, but they've not necessarily built any branded residences yet. I'm not going to say them. You know, I'm thinking, does anyone really know what product is going to be delivered at the end? This is maybe for someone who's just looking to offload some cash. You know, maybe someone who's maybe willing to take a speculative risk. This developer is going to deliver this, and this is going to be such a unique product, and it will do fantastically in the market. And that's fine. I do believe there is a product for everybody in the market. I probably wouldn't do that myself. I'd much rather opt to go and buy myself a standalone villa or something in one of these communities, like I just said. But, you know, some people want to do that. So the mistakes to avoid is just, you know, working with somebody who's untrustworthy. And it's hard to know that at the start, but you can do your own research as an investor by going online and just looking at the price per square foot and trends and patterns and transactions. And you can just see if what they are saying is true, you know. Someone's going to tell you, yeah, flip after 6 months, you know, just pay your down payment now, or even spread that down payment across 2 properties. I just avoid it, all right? Just really think about it. This is a lot of money for yourself. You know, make sure that you're making an informed decision. And then also, like, do your due diligence. You know, I say this again in a lot of my videos. If you are going with a newer developer or a smaller developer, it's very easy to just do a little bit of background knowledge on them, a bit of a background check, and just see what they've done or what their future looks like. If they're a developer that are launching 1 building and that's it, and they've not done anything, and they don't plan to build anymore, I would avoid, because me and you can buy a plot of land now and build a building, cash out and take the money. Not as simple as that, of course, but That's the general consensus of it. And then also, just make sure you understand what the future is looking like. And when people tell you that metro stations are going in these places, because a lot of people use this hyped up word, metro station, and the new airport, these things are all happening, of course. But people don't tell you that the airport's not going to be functioning for like 8 to 10 years yet, like on a full-scale operation. And people also don't tell you that metro lines are going through certain locations, and you know, they're always changing things with the metro line, but generally, you know, we've got a good idea right now. So just make sure you are aware and you are doing your real research by yourself, just to make sure. Of course, we're the trustworthy advisors. We are not going to give you some untrustworthy information. You know, our interest and getting you the best property is what we do best, right? So if you do need any more information, you know where we are. I'll be happy to work with you. All that you need to do is leave your details below, and I'll see you on the call. Thank you very much.